She tilts her head. You've noticed it. You definitely have. You're sitting in a cafe, the conversation flows, and then suddenly, that movement. Smooth, barely perceptible. Her head tilts to the side, 30 to 40 degrees, her neck exposed. For a second. For two. And something clicks inside you, but you don't understand what exactly. You think, she's just comfortable, or it's random, or she's not even listening to me, just looking somewhere else. You're wrong. This gesture isn't random. It's not a habit. It's an evolutionary key to a woman's trust. And today, I'm going to prove, if you miss this tilt, you miss everything. Absolutely everything. Because a woman over 40 never tilts her head for no reason. Never. Let's be honest. You're sitting there right now, running faces through your mind. You're remembering that meeting, that colleague, that friend of a friend. Has it happened? It has. And you did nothing. I know that inner monologue. What if I imagined it? What if she was just stretching her neck? What if I say something stupid and she thinks I'm some creepy old guy? Enough guessing. Let's break this gesture down piece by piece. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to tell real interest from politeness, when to act, and when it's better to just stay quiet and enjoy the moment. But first, the main thing. You think a head tilt is coquetry? A playful thing women learn in their 20s to throw men off balance? Nonsense. Open any book on primatology. Chimpanzees, bonobos, orangutans, they do the same thing. They tilt their heads when they surrender. When they're saying, I'm not dangerous. I'm open. I trust you enough to let you touch my neck. The neck is vulnerability. Carotid artery, trachea, major nerves. In the animal world, exposing your neck is like saying, kill me if you want. I'm not afraid. In humans, this gesture became a signal of trust, but it changes with age. A 25-year-old woman might tilt her head automatically. For a photo. For attention. To look cute. It's a social habit. She can fake interest without any feeling behind it, easily. A woman over 40 can't do that. And she doesn't want to. Because by 40, all the social masks fall away. Glossy magazines no longer dictate how to flirt properly. Only one thing remains. Reality. If she tilts her head, she's genuinely interested. But why the tilt? Let's get into the anatomy. Quickly, don't be scared. The carotid artery is the main vessel feeding the brain. When you tilt your head 30 to 40 degrees, the artery doesn't get pinched. On the contrary, it moves closer to the surface. Easier to see. Easier to touch. The woman isn't aware of this. Her body makes the decision on its own. Neuroscientists call this vulnerability management, an internal algorithm. If the person is safe, show your weak side. If not, keep your neck straight. And here's what's important. In adulthood, according to some data, sensitivity to oxytocin may decrease. The dopamine system changes too. A woman needs stronger reasons to even want to get closer, and if she makes this gesture, those reasons exist. She's not playing, she's choosing. You ask, but how do I know it's that kind of tilt, and not just her turning her ear to hear me better? Excellent question. Because this is where the main trap lies. Look, a polite tilt is quick, about 15 degrees, with her body pulled back, shoulders closed. She's saying, I'm listening, but keeping my distance. An empathic tilt is 20 to 30 degrees, but it happens when talking about something sad or painful. She's sympathizing, not flirting. The key difference is the gaze. During empathy, her eyes are soft, unfocused, without a spark. And then there's a third type, intimate. More than 35 degrees, held for 2 seconds or longer, her torso leaning forward, shoulders turned toward you, and the pupils dilated. No arguing with that. Pure physiology. When a person sees something they're truly interested in, their pupils dilate involuntarily. You can't fake it. Let's dwell on this a little more. There's another detail. Micro movements of the lips. How to tell them apart? Imagine a real-life scene. A woman tilts her head, looks you in the eyes. Her lips are slightly parted, the corners turned up. That's an ancient reflex to moisten the mucous membrane before possible contact. Good sign. But if her lips are pursed in a thin line or pressed inward, and the tilt is quick, that's politeness. Don't kid yourself. I once saw it in a coffee shop. A woman tilted her head toward the barista, lips pursed, tilt lasting a second, and that was it. The barista thought she was flirting. He was wrong. A minute later, she was calmly drinking her coffee and looking at her phone. No interest at all. She was just comfortable listening to her order. Check for yourself next time. Look at the whole package. Angle, duration, pupils, lips. If at least 3 out of 4 match, you're in the game. If you see this, freeze. Don't lunge in for a kiss. Don't ask stupid questions. Don't try to joke. Just lean in slightly, slowly, with a pause. You're not mirroring, you're confirming safety. Show that you noticed her gesture and respect it. Don't break the magic with a clumsy word. Because the worst thing is when a man sees this tilt and says, "Got a crick in your neck?" God forbid. Seriously, better to stay silent. One of my clients, 43 years old, told me about it. She tilted her head on a date. The man, successful, confident, 47, looked at her and said, "Why are you making that face? Asymmetry?" She got up and left. Not because she was offended, but because she realized he doesn't see her. He has no idea how to read a living person. He wants a manual, a checklist, a safety protocol. But she's not a manual. She's alive. And this is the main insight of today's video. A head tilt after 40 isn't coquetry. It's not a game. It's the first, and possibly only, door that a woman opens for you. If you don't notice it, it closes forever. Not because she's angry or resentful, but because she makes an internal calculation. I took a risk. I showed vulnerability. He didn't understand. That means we're from different universes. There's nowhere to go from here. And she's right. You wouldn't try to explain love to someone who confuses it with convenience. You wouldn't. So let's drop the grand statements. Here's a working algorithm for you. 3 steps. First, assess the context. Distance less than a meter? Good. No barriers. Her bag on her lap, not on the table? Good. She's sitting in an open posture, arms uncrossed? Excellent. Second, time it. A tilt longer than 2 seconds, after which she doesn't snap back up like she's been shocked, means she's comfortable. Third, make a response. Don't copy her like a parrot. With a slight delay, a pause. Lean toward her a couple of centimeters and say quietly, "I like the way you're looking at me right now." Not, "I like you," not, "let's kiss," but about her gaze, her gesture. That's acknowledging her courage. She'll hear, "He noticed, he understood, he's not attacking, he's grateful." And then she'll take the next step herself. I've seen this hundreds of times. In therapy, in everyday life, in a cafe where I accidentally overheard 2 strangers talking. The man who can read this tilt always comes out ahead. Not because he's slick or an experienced heartbreaker, but because he's attentive. And attentiveness is respect. Think about this. At 20, a woman might tilt her head on 10 different dates in a month. She doesn't mind. She has plenty of energy. Her hormones are dancing. After 40, she might do it 3 times in a year. Not because she's old or tired, but because she's learned to value her signals. She won't throw them away. Each tilt is a small investment. If you accept it, you both win. If not, she withdraws the investment and never offers it again. That's why I'm asking you now. Remember, has this happened in the last 6 months? Maybe at work, when a colleague asked for help and suddenly tilted her head while looking at your screen. Maybe at a friend's birthday party, when his wife, not yours, was telling a story and for a second exposed her neck. You missed it. Or you noticed, but were too afraid to move. It happens. Don't beat yourself up. It's just that now you know what 90% of men don't. You're armed. Not to attack, but so you don't walk past. Let me add another layer. Why 40? What changes in a woman's psychology after that number? A body of research in developmental psychology suggests that after 40, women's anxiety about social evaluation decreases. They stop caring what others think. This isn't about hormones, it's about experience. A woman stops being a girl seeking approval. She becomes an adult who chooses. Imagine, a woman who spent 20 years perfecting the art of hiding her emotions suddenly decides to show her neck. It's like a special agent taking off his bulletproof vest in front of you. Do you grasp the scale? That's why her nonverbal signals become hyper-honest. She won't waste energy on fake flirting to get a free coffee or a compliment. If she tilts her head, she really wants to be closer. If not, she'll be polite, but her body will stay straight, her neck covered. Compare with young women. A 25-year-old might fake a head tilt on a date even if she's not interested in the man at all, just because she's used to doing it. It's a social mask. After 40, the masks crack. So when it seems to you that a woman over 40 is too serious or cold, look closer. Maybe she just doesn't tilt her head for people she doesn't need. And that's the most honest compliment she can give. If she keeps her neck straight in front of you, she respects your time and isn't playing games. But when she tilts, watch out. It's an atomic signal. A final experiment for the brave. Next time a woman over 40 tilts her head toward you, hold a pause for 3 seconds. 3 full seconds. Don't look away. Don't turn aside. Don't start saying something stupid. Just look back and smile slightly. Not a smirk, but a warm, gentle smile, like to an old friend. And you'll see, either she'll get flustered and straighten up quickly, then it was a random gesture, not for you. Or she'll smile back and linger a little longer. And then you can act, calmly, without pressure, because you're already inside. The door is open. You saw it. Now, important. I'm not giving you an instruction manual for seduction. I'm against any kind of violence, manipulation, or games. This tilt isn't a lever or a start button. It's an invitation. You can accept it or reject it. But if you accept it, be ready for the fact that behind it stands a real person, not a projection of your desires, but a living woman with her own past, her own fears, her own fatigue. And if you respond to her not with an automatic smile, but with genuine attention, she will remember it for a long time. Because people, especially after 40, desperately want one thing: to be noticed. Not evaluated, not put into boxes, but truly noticed. Seen for the gesture, understood its value, responded. That very carotid artery she opened to you. Don't make her regret it. That's it. If you remembered a specific situation and aren't sure whether it was that kind of tilt, write in the comments yes or no. I'll break down the 3 most confusing cases in the next video. And if you want to learn to read other gestures, subscribe. We'll talk about how women over 40 look at a man with their whole body. Or how they touch their own wrists during conversation. That's a whole other story. But for today, just remember, she tilted her head. You noticed. You're no longer like everyone else. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourself, and take care of those who open their neck to you. It's worth a lot.